Hello, good morning, students. In the last lecture, we can study about the relay and the functions of the relay and the different type of faults. Now, in our second sections, we can discuss about the basic protection systems and the zone protection systems. So, first of all, what is the 5A requirement of the protection system? So, in the previous topic, we can discuss about this. When the fault or abnormal condition is produced in the power system, the faulty component should be immediately isolated or should be isolated as quick as possible from the system, because otherwise the fault spread in the system and more damage occurs to the system. It means that when the fault is occur, this part will be immediately removed because of the large current is passing through the systems, and this one is damage over the costliest equipment. So here there are the two main functions. The first one is the primary functions and the second one is the secondary functions. So what is the primary functions? So protective relay detects the fault and the faulty component is isolated from the system with the help of the switch gears. This is called the primary functions of the protective relay. The relay cannot predict the occurrence of the fault. Yes, in the primary functions, the relay is not predict the occurrence of the faults. It means that the relay works only after the occurrence of the fault or after the abnormal conditions are developed. Then after relay or the primary functions will be introduced. So what is the secondary functions? So we can show the primary functions of the protective relay, but some relay also give the informations about the type of fault and its locations. This is the secondary functions of the protections relay. In the previous in the next sessions we can study about the different type of relays. Directional relays is the example of these secondary functions systems. Now the next one is the basic element of the protective system. You can see the one figure here. So what is basic diagram of the protection systems in our system is divided into the main five parts. The first part is sensing element, the second one is the selectors, the next one is the measuring equipments, then elements or amplifier, and the last one is actuator. So how it works in the basic element of the power system? The value of the current increase and the value of the voltage decrease due to the fault or abnormality. This is sensed by the current transformer and the power transformers. It means the CD and PD. Then after the summation of the transformer decide whether the fault is in on zone or out of the zone. Then after when it is confirmed that the fault is on zone, it means the relay zone, the comparator or the relay operate and give the signals. If the signal given by the relay is of low magnitude, it is necessary to amplify the signals of the relay. And the last one is the circuit breaker is tripped with the help of amplified signals. Now the next one is the zone protections. You can see the figures. The basic examples of the zone protection systems Basically, zone protection system is divided in the six different parts. The first part you can see that the generator part. The next part is the low voltage switch gear part, which one is connected of the two relay between the sub bar systems, and the next one is the power transformer. It means in our power system, in the last lecture we can study about the basic flow diagram of the power systems. To step up the transformer, this one is called the power transformer protections or the power transformer systems. The next one is high voltage switching. High voltage switching is that in our sub bar system is connected with the relay or the coupler, and the next one is the transmissions line, and the last one is the low voltage switch gears. So how it is works in our power systems, so shown in the figures, each zone is its own protection systems. It means that this one is only considered with the own protection system. It means that you can see the dotted lines, this one is the protection zone systems, detecting existing of the fault in that zone, and each zone has its own circuit breakers to disconnect the zone from the rest of the systems. Therefore, the protection zone can be defined as the protections of the power system protections by given the protective systems or the part of the protective system. So here you can see that the generating protections and the low voltage switchgear protections is some part is overlap. It means you can see that here the every part will be overlap because of the no one can space or the no one can any equipment and any persons will be left of two protection systems. So next one is the types of protection systems. So basically there are the two types of protection system, primary and backup protection system. So what is the primary protection system is provided by the primary relay, and the backup protections is provided by the backup relay. The main duty of the primary relay is when the fault is occur at on the on zone, at that time the circuit will be isolated from the system. If the primary relay failed to operate due to any reasons, at that time the backup protection scheme is used to clear this fault. This is called the secondary protection systems. So you can see here the main or the primary protection systems and the backup protection systems. The basic you can see the figures, the primary protection systems is connected from this first part, and the secondary protection system in the second part, this is called the backup protections also. So we can think about why the backup protection system is necessary or not. Yes, definitely the backup protection system is necessary due to the main reason is that the backup protection system operates and clear the fault when the primary protection system is failed. And the second reason, when the primary protection system is under repair or maintenance, the backing protection system work as a primary protection system. It means that if we can consider that the primary protection is under maintenance, at that time the secondary protection system is work as a primary protection systems. Now reasons for the failure of the primary protection system. So the main some reason is given here: due to the failure of voltage and current supply to the relay, when the trip coil of the circuit breaker does not get a DC supply, it means that the trip signal of the relay will not operating because of the relay get never given the supplies. When the defect in the develop in the protective relay due to the defect in the breaker mechanism, and the last one due to the defect in the circuit breakers. So now this one is the necessity of the backup protections and the reason of the failure of primary protections. Now we can study about the types of backup protection systems. Yes, basically there are the three types of backup protection systems. The first one is the relay backup, the next one is the breaker backup, and the last one is the remote backup system. So you can see here the three different types is here. The first one is relay backup system. So the circuit breaker is used by both the main and backup protections, but the protective system are different. The separate by the trip coil may be provided from the same circuit breakers. The next one is the breaker type protection systems. In these systems, two breaker are provided. You can see here the two breaker. The black one is the breaker systems. Two breaker system are provided. The one circuit breaker operate from the primary relay and the second circuit breakers operate from the backup relay. This system is very costly. And the last one is the remote backup systems. So main and the backup protections provide at a different stations and are completely independent in this protection system. So this system nowadays the remote backup system will be used. Here the one example you can see that the different type of relays will be connected. You can see that the breaker 2 and the T, you can see that the breaker 2 and the T represent the local backup protections which is located in the same substations as the primary protections. Local backup protections is more expensive than remote control backup because the additional equipment is needed. You can see here the additional trip signals will be needed or requirement here. The advantages of the local backup over remote backup are greater sensitive, greater selectivity, and the fast operate speed. Now, the main part, the breaker 1, 3, and 8 are located in the remote substations. This is remote backup protections, and the advantages of the remote backup protections is low cost. The remote backup protections come from the protections equipment that is needed for primary protection functions and the adjustment system element. So you can see the figures. Suppose the fault occurs in A of the feeder of the substations B, then the circuit breaker at stations B should open with the 1 second. If due to some reason it cannot operate, the circuit breaker at a station C should operate after the 0.6 second. If this breaker also cannot operate, the circuit breaker at the generating station will operate after the 1 second. This one is called the remote backup systems. So I hope so you can learn about the different type of protection systems and the zone protection system. If any query of these sessions and any topic you cannot understand, you can call me. The number is given on your screen. And also if any questions about these sessions, you can also give me the mail. The mail id is also display in your screens. Thank you.